Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Adam.
Yep, and welcome to Meeple Talk. So this time we're going to be reviewing the game Camel Up.
Yes, so Camel Up is I would call it a light strategy game. Maybe takes about a half hour for 2 to 8 players. And this game is distributed by Z-Man Games in the US and Canada. I don't know where else they distribute it or publish it or whatever. Z-Man is on the box. That's all I really know for sure. I think it was originally...
We researched this really well.
Yes. I think it was originally not an English game because it won the Spiel des Jahres in Europe. So that's a Game of the Year award. So that's a very prestigious award. So it's apparently a very good game. But we're going to tell you what we thought of it later on. First we'll tell you about it. And so...
Well, right away, I guess you can gather from the layout of the game, the theme is we are at the races, and it's camel races specifically. So what happens is that there's a series of, 8 character cards. One of the reasons I guess I forgot to mention before is that it allows for a lot of players, 2 to 8 players, which is really a large set for a lot of games. A lot of games limit to maybe 5 or 6. So this one's up to 8 players, and we take turns betting on the camels. And so what happens is that there's a master length of the race that they're going to go on, but they're going to be competing in a series of short legs. And how that's done? Well, that's done through dice rolls. So this pyramid has the actual colors of dice, which at first we had some difficulty figuring out because at first we were just releasing it like so, and sometimes you'll have multiple dice come out all at once. And then, well, lo and behold.
We read the rules. And the rules said...
According to the instructions,
Yes.
you actually place the dispenser, release, and there you go.
And it's, this is a high-tech device. Really nice. I like the way they designed it,
Cardboard, rubber band, and it's ingenious.
And it's a pyramid. It's perfect for the theme. So
generally what happens is that depending on the color of the die that's released, that camel color is the one who moves in that particular leg. Now, the neat thing about it is that it's hard to know exactly which die is going to come out, but you can kind of guess depending on what colors have been used up, which potential ones are going to come out. But I guess why that's important is that the camels to move, the ones that move first, are in a way sort of at a disadvantage if succeeding camels are going to be coming close to them. And the reason why that is that you'll see how these guys are stacked. Why they're stacked is that any camel that moves and lands on a square that's already occupied by another camel goes on top. And when it comes to determine who's winning that actual leg or that actual part of the race, it's actually the camel on top that's winning. So if you're placing bets, it really is important to know or to determine who's going to be finally on top. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the reason that it's really interesting to bet on the camels is because they stack. It would normally appear that, for example, this camel is probably going to lose the race. Let's say it's something like this, right? It looks like this camel might lose the race, right? Because he's so far behind and, taking into account the averages, right? You roll dice so many times. It's probably an average of a 2 for each camel. But what happens is when they stack, let's say this moves 2. So not only is he ahead of yellow, but also then yellow, we know yellow hasn't moved yet. So yellow's going to move. So yellow's going to take this white guy along. So white essentially moves twice. So then let's say he moves 2. Now green hasn't moved. We know green's going to move. So now white is moving a 3rd time, and now white is in the lead. So it's this game mechanism that makes this game unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. So it's just really fun that way. And then you can bet on the camels, and whoever bets first has an advantage. For example, let's say here's white, right? Let's say, a few people think white is going to win this particular leg. And a leg is when all 5 camels have moved once, right? So this might be the end of one leg, and there might be 4 or 5 legs before the end of the race. But for this particular leg, let's say a player early on says, I think white's going to win. So he's going to get 5 points if white is in the lead. The next player might say, I think white's going to win later on, but he's only going to get 3 points because he was the second one to guess, right? When he pulls that. Third person's only going to get 2. So you're always rewarded for being the first one, which is a good thing because you should get rewarded if you're taking more risk, right?
Yeah. And also, too, a little bit about game mechanics. We really didn't talk about that at all. So what happens is that In any player's turn, there's a couple of actions they could possibly take. So one, as we've described earlier, is to place your bets, which camel's going to win the particular leg. So that's the short bet. The long bet, you can also decide which camel colors you think are going to be the ultimate winner and the ultimate loser. And you get more victory points, as Adam said earlier. The first you are to guess on the winning decision, you get more victory points. And if you ultimately guess horribly, guess it completely wrong, you actually start losing victory points. Also, to help or hurt chances of you or anyone else on the board, your particular character also has a helping or hindering, it's like an oasis and a mirage tile that you can actually place on the board anywhere. And any camels that land either get to advance an extra space or go back an extra space. And the neat trick about the going back is, let's say, for example, let's say we have a stack like this, and yellow happened to roll. Usually, the camel would be at an advantage anytime they progress forward because they will get a higher standing on any camel that they land. But if they are on a -1 tile, and that movement backwards happened to result them in landing on an occupied space, they actually move right to the bottom.
Yes.
So we've had some instances where we played in one of the games near the end of the game. We actually had, because there was a -1 tile at the end, the order of the camels actually flipping a couple of times because their turns to roll actually came up around that time. So it really created a neat little sense of excitement because we're just like, oh, I just bet on this one. It was going to win.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of setting that up so you can see how it would work. Like, they were right just before the finish line. We were like, oh, blue's going to win. So then blue moved one, and then he moved -1 because of this. So then he moved under. So now green could win because the first one to cross the finish line wins. No,
exactly.
You don't wait until the rest of the camels move. So it's just a question of who's going to just move two, right? But they can't get past the square because he keeps rolling one. They have to keep moving back. So you never know which camel's going to win until someone rolls higher. So that's what makes this game a lot of fun. And there's a lot of drama. And I like games with drama. I like when, like, everyone thinks something's going to happen, and then something different happens. Everyone's like, oh my God. So that's the type of game this is. And I like the fact that the legs are fairly quick. The whole game is only maybe a half hour, maybe 40 minutes at the most. It's a very short game with simple rules, and yet a lot is happening during the game.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that I really like the game is when we talk about pick up and go, it's not a game that you have to invest a lot of time getting to know the rules, play a few times before you really get a sense of what's happening. It's a game where different, people of different gaming levels we played with were all able to get right into it, have, I guess, their hearts all invested in the outcomes of the games. Like, everyone was getting excited. Everyone had opportunities to really advance or out of luck. Like, it was one of those really big emotional kind of games. And so it created a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, a lot of taunting, teasing, that kind of stuff. And when your strategy actually pans out, it's like really, really relieving. So I had a lot of fun playing this the couple times that we went through. There was not the immediate tire factor after the first time playing. So I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, I recommend it absolutely for first-time gamers, for long-time gamers. It's just an easy game to go with. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just my own summary. I think the artwork of this game is awesome. It has a really good theme to it, right? I mean, you can see the desert. They've got this really cool pyramid that they've made. These pieces, for some reason, they're big and they're thick, and they they connect together like that. They're very satisfying. I just love these camels. They couldn't have made them better. So I think the presentation is really good. The rules are very simple. We didn't have any problem reading the rules or understanding the rules, and I just give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
I highly recommend this game.
Yep, me too. So Camel Up, good game.
Yes.
Go out and get it.
So thanks for watching.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Mm-hmm.
Good night.
Good night.